Hey everybody, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Porter Says podcast. I feel like this video might get controversial considering how toxic this fan base can be. And yes, I'm clearly running out of ideas for episodes, but I haven't talked about this franchise very much, so let's go. In this episode of the Porter Says podcast, very laid back, very casual. I'm not in my usual set, but we are going to be ranking the Star Wars franchise. This is going to include all of the Skywalker saga and including the two spin-offs. So that's Solo: A Star Wars Story and Rogue One. Keep in mind, I am more of a casual Star Wars fan. I'm going to put that down actually to people to see my legs. But yeah, keep in mind, I'm a very casual Star Wars fan. So without further ado, let's get into this ranking. The bottom two spots here, they can interchange, they kind of swap around a little bit, but as it stands at number 11, and I have talked about this movie before, talked about a few of them, but at number 11, I have Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I get this movie has a fan base, and I get that the prequels have become really beloved, ever since the sequel trilogy, really. I just can't get over the fact how boring this movie is. I don't know who the main character is. Can you tell me? Like, it could be Qui-Gon, because, you know, Liam Neeson gets top billing and stuff like that, like, in the credits, but I don't think Qui-Gon's that interesting of a main character. Even Obi-Wan Kenobi, played by Ewan McGregor, doesn't have a whole lot to do. I find the whole movie incredibly boring. That there's some sequences here and there that are great. Like, the finale is pretty well done and awesome. Like, the Duel of the Fates is an iconic moment in this series. But all the Trade Federation talk and Senate meetings, what kid is going to find that interesting? At number 10, I have The Rise of Skywalker. Now, again, these two movies can interchange, but Rise of Skywalker, to me, it just felt like it was trying to retcon and backtrack everything that The Last Jedi did. Whether you like The Last Jedi or not, it just kind of felt like J.J. Abrams was like, shit, a lot of people didn't like The Last Jedi. Let's go back and make Rey a Palpatine and stuff like that. Let's do nothing with Finn, even though, like, Last Jedi also kind of did that. But let's do nothing with him. Let's do the whole thing. Somehow Palpatine returned. Nothing works in this movie. There's, again, things here and there that are great. Like, visually, it's stunning, and there's a couple action sequences here and there that are great. But overall, it's a really disappointing end to the sequel trilogy and a disappointing end to the main saga. At number 9, I have Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. I've had a bit of a complicated relationship with this film because it is one that I enjoyed on first watch, hated on the second watch. I just remember being so bored out of my freaking mind. And then on a rewatch about 3-4 years ago, it's just kind of there for me. Like, it's fine. It's a watchable movie. It's visually stunning. Like, the last 30 minutes or so are great. But everything before that's kind of a snooze fest. Don't have much to say about Rogue One. It's just kind of there. Number 8, I have Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. This used to be my least favorite. I hated this movie for so long. The dialogue in this movie is atrocious. The romance is terribly written. It looks, every scene you can tell is just the biggest green screen of all time. I didn't care about anything in this movie. But again, on a rewatch, I realized that it's a lot less boring than The Phantom Menace, and even though the finale isn't as strong, it has probably one of the worst lightsaber fights in this series, at least in my opinion. It's still got it's got a lot more enjoyable stuff in it than people give it credit for. Like, the battle on Geonosis is fantastic, and all the stuff in the arena. I think Ewan McGregor is easily one of the best parts, if not the best part, of the prequel saga, especially when it comes to the acting. It's really just, like, the dialogue is so wooden, and George Lucas, I don't know what he was doing with the romance, but the romance in this movie, like I said, is pretty terrible. Hayden Christensen, bless his heart, he's not doing a very good job here, though. Natalie Portman's trying, but even her performance is a bit and just very wooden. I think that's another, like, just a lot of the performances is just, they're so wooden. Like, Samuel Jackson as Mace Windu is just so subdued, and I don't know, why would you give a role like that to Samuel Jackson? It just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, Attack of the Clones, I'm just kind of like, it's a very watchable, mediocre film. It's fine. Now here's where, oh boy, number 7 is Star Wars The Last Jedi. There's one side of people who love this movie to death and loved what Rian Johnson was going for and subverting everybody's expectations and doing something different and new, and then you got a whole other camp that just despises the movie, think it's one of the worst, or if not the worst, in the entire series. I am kind of just in the middle. I think it's okay. It's visually stunning. It is, in my opinion, the best looking Star Wars movie. There is beautiful shots in this movie. I like the action sequences. The Red Room fight, which has been talked about a lot on a certain podcast. Shout out to the Escape Pod. I guess there's just stuff in this movie that doesn't bother me as much because, again, I'm not like a dedicated diehard Star Wars fan or anything. I don't have a problem with anybody really putting this at the bottom. I think it's a totally fair argument. Luke's character, look, I get what they were trying to do, but it didn't do anything for me. Like, it's kind of just, like, I guess trying to subvert expectations. All right, I'm going to try and speed through these. At number 6, I have Solo: A Star Wars Story. This is a really fun adventure film. Not the most necessary story. Like, we didn't really need to know all that stuff, but it's a fun movie. At number 5, now this is a movie that I feel like I do really like quite a bit, is Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Look, I really like this movie. I do. It's a great movie. It's easily the best of the prequels, but it does still suffer from those same issues. It has a lot of corny dialogue. There's a lot of green screens around. Visually, it looks kind of just not as good as it could look, and a lot of the dialogue is wooden. That being said, it has one of the best finales that I've ever seen in a Star Wars movie. I think it is fantastic. The fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin is brilliant. It could have been cut a bit shorter, but it's still really fantastic. It's not my favorite lightsaber fight, though. And I think how it ties into the original trilogy is really, really well done. At number 4, I have Episode 7, The Force Awakens, Star Wars The Force Awakens. I love this movie. I will defend it until the day that I die. I really like the way they handle Rey's character here. I think the start of Finn's arc is really well done. I love the fight between Rey, Kylo, and Finn in the forest. I think that looks visually stunning. It's just such a fun adventure movie, and it was a really good way for the Star Wars series to come back, and it was a decent enough start for the sequel trilogy. At number 3, I have Return of the Jedi. I love Return of the Jedi. I know some people are low on it, but I really like it. It has such a great start. It has an awesome finale. Another one of my favorite lightsaber fights. It's also a little bit darker than people give it credit for, especially towards the end with Luke just going ham on Vader after like a mention of his sister, of Leia. And at number 2, I have the original Star Wars from 1977. No, I am not calling it A New Hope, because it was called 77 Star Wars back when it was released. I have grown to love this movie so much, and I always have really liked it, but I rewatched it on May the 4th, and I just had an absolute blast. I think that added to it. The fact that it was on Star Wars Day just made it perfect. It has excellent characters. Visually, it still looks pretty good, especially for a movie back in the 70s. All the practical effects. Darth Vader is awesome. Luke's a great protagonist. You got Han, you got Princess Leia, you got Obi-Wan Kenobi. The finale of the movie is so good. It's so good. Very tension-filled. It's paced incredibly well. It is so good. But at number 1, I have Empire Strikes Back. Very basic pick, but it is one of or should I say, Empire Strikes Back and Star Wars 77 are actually the only Star Wars movies, to be honest, that are in my favorite films list of all time. But Empire Strikes Back is just I think it's one of the best sequels. I think it's easily the best Star Wars movie, and it's just a fantastic movie overall. And there we go. That's my rambled Star Wars ranking. I don't know how controversial it's going to be, because again, this Star Wars fans really kind of suck. I mean, there is a saying, somewhat, I think, that no one hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Again, it was a more casual, laid-back kind of setup right now. But yeah, I figured I'd get an episode to you for Friday, just for a bit of fun. And hopefully I'll have something a bit better for one of the next ones. So catch you guys next time.